Good morning. Our hand today is going to be pocket sevens. In this hand, we have a mid position player open raises, and it folds around to me. He's playing 17-12. I initially thought, well, 17-12, maybe about 20%, pre-flop raise, but no, that's way too high. When we look at his stats, we're looking more at like a 14% pre-flop raise from mid position. He loosens a bit up in the blinds, but most of the time, if you think about it, early position, mid position are going to have most of the hands. So if we look at his VPIP at 17, more than likely he's going to be below that. And we can kind of see here, list player 14, he's 14-9. He's either playing like super tight at all positions, or through early mid position he's probably playing like 9%, 10%, maybe 11%, something pretty tight. Let's see it when he opens up. Yeah, 13% mid position, 13 cutoff, 19 button, 8% early position. So I think we get a little bit better percentages based on the overall stats. So, what is his range? I think it's something like this, is 14%. I think suited aces, suited broadways, suited connectors, maybe down to 8-7, sixes plus, some offsuit, ace jack plus, king queen types of hands. Now, what do we do with 7? So Solver GTO range says, this is part of our call range. We can actually 3-bet or call here. And I want to say, what's the point of 3-betting? It's to, build a pot and, try to win it right there. So build a pot because you're betting for value, or you're 3-betting to try to get folds because you think villain's going to overfold. So I think villain's going to overfold. He folds the 3-bet about 47% of the time. Since he's going to be in position, it's probably less likely that he'll fold. And especially versus the range, when we think, well, what hands will he fold if I raise? On these, with being in position, I'm not sure. I think he's got playable hands. If he folds, I think maybe king jack, king 10, queen 10, maybe like the mid aces. I think he could 3-bet, these premiums here. But I think he himself has playability. He could call in position, which will make it hard for me to play. So, when we look at sevens, I don't think raising is necessarily going to get the folds. And if they don't get the folds, then what kind of hands am I going up against? Well, I'm going up against pretty decent ones. Sevens isn't going to do super well against this range. So let's take a look at it. We've got 7 spades, 7 spades, 7 hearts. Oops. 7 spades, 7 hearts. And now we need this range. Copy it. It's only about a coin flip. Only about a coin flip. I am deep. He's not. I get maybe if he was a little bit short stack, maybe 50 big blinds, 40 big blinds, 60 big blinds, we could justify 3-bet, because I think he would tighten up a bit more and give us a little bit more folds. And then when he continues, yeah, our equity's going to be a little bit lower, but we still have that fold equity that would help us. Here, we're going to be out of position. I kind of feel like we're going to be calling here, hoping to hit, hoping for a favorable flop of some sort that would allow us to take down a pot, or some sort of maybe favorable flop where it gives us trips but also gives villain a pair or 2 pair and allows us to take a stack. So I did call. I think that's okay. And the flop comes down ace king 3. And now I think we just check, and villain checks behind. Now that's actually interesting. So if villain checks behind, I've got 4,000 hands on him. He c-bets about 50% of the time. I think he is leaning towards probably checking sets, 2 pair, probably top pair. I have to think So set and 2 pair, I think he slams the board, and I think with this player, he's probably decent. He's won $24 these last 3 months, I think. I think overall he's a winning player. I do have quite a few bets here. Did mark that I think he's a thinking player, so we have. I think I saw our hand. Yeah, I think top pair. I think there's justification for him to check 2 pair plus. Top pair, we're gonna give that, let's say, 70% chance that he actually checks his top pair. No, I'm sorry, that's too much. 30% he checks his top pair. This way, here it is. Let's give him a small chance that he does that. Middle pair, bottom pair. We're gonna say no hands. Oops, I'm sorry. Top pair probably bets. Man, this is tough. What would he see bet with? Actually, take that back. It's clear this. Let's say he bets set straights 2 pair, top pair, and then everything weaker he calls, including with a gut shot. Let's do that. So he is weak. We have our entire range in our hand. Queen of diamonds hits. Now, I know at this point, I'm probably thinking he could have a monster. Aces, kings, ace, king. And I think I'm seeing monsters under the bed. And I thought, well, maybe he's also checking top pairs, so like ace, queen. So when the queen, it didn't really help me. But I think here I stayed with my plan just to check because I have a pair. But I think working through this hand, I think that's a mistake. I think on the turn, we probably just need to go ahead and bet. He checked, he showed weakness. We can go ahead and bet basically our entire range here, knowing that if he calls, we're probably going to be done with all of our junk. Our 1 pair hands are going to have to be very, very careful. I think this includes our straights, our 2 pair hands we're going to be betting here, but I think we should be betting all of these. I didn't, and I think that's a mistake. I didn't, and I think that's a mistake. Once he checked the flop, we should just go ahead and fire. Yeah, if he's trapping, he's trapping. We make a note that villain might like to trap. Once he checked a second time, now I think it is really weak. Middle pair with maybe the king, and actually I'm going to discount that too. I mean, surely if I didn't bet, he's going to think, well, maybe his king's good. He's going to fire a bet at least once, maybe. Once on the turn and then check behind on the river. Weak pair, no made hand. I think that's what he's looking at. And then the 2 hearts. And again, we checked twice. I'm sure I'm thinking, well, I'm just going to have to check again. I think at this point, with how I played it, I think it's just going to be a check fold. 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks. Third pair, second pair, a king X, queen X. We're behind all of those. We only really beat like your real junk hands, and I don't even see him having many. I mean, if he had ace 3, ace 2, he has 2 pair. So I think we should have bet the turn. We missed the turn, and I think the turn was where we bet. because I think now if I bet here, it's going to look a little bit too much like a bluff, maybe, where he could call with a pair, with any pair. And he is going to have a whole lot of weak pairs, so maybe he calls with all of those. And when you look and see where my sevens fit in, I'm only beating sixes. So we check. He shows tens. I have not. I have sevens. Did I have that on there? No, this isn't the hand. So I have him. He checks down nines on the button on a king, queen, 10, 4, queen board. So this is pretty consistent with how he played that hand too. So we'll get this too. So if he didn't flop top pair, yeah, ace club, king spade, 3 diamonds, queen diamonds, 2 hearts. Check down, 10-10 in position in MP on. Do we have any? We've got a check raise out of position with second nut flush. We've got a raise in position with top pair second kicker. Yeah, we'll have to check like a c-bets. So what do I think of this hand? I think the pre-flop call's fine. I think the mistake here was missing that turn bet. Once he showed the weakness on the flop, we should have just went ahead and fired. I mean, that's going to be hard. I could have an ace, I could have a king, I could have a queen. Tens definitely can't handle any sort of bet. And if he calls, I could easily just fire again on the river, because he could be firing again with a diamond draw in this case. Now he doesn't, but if he had, let's say, 10-9 of diamonds, he's probably going to call. So we can fire one more bet here. And apply some pressure. He may even call with tens one time because he's got the gut shot. And then on the river, he's not going to call again. He missed his gut shot. He missed trips. He's just going to fold. So I missed a turn bet here. All right, hopefully you enjoy this. If you do, look tomorrow for another.